یا نه، چه مقدار بیتاب و بیمار یاری. دل آشفته بودن دلیل کمی نیست، اگر بیقراری بدان یار یاری. و پایان این بیقراری بهشت است، بهشتی که سرخوش ز دیدار یاری. نسیم کرامت وزیدن گرفته و باران رحمت چکیدن گرفته. مبادا بدوزی نگاه دلت را به مردم که بازار یوسف فروشی در این دوره بد شدیدن گرفته. خدایا به روی درخشان مهدی، به زلف سیاه و پریشان مهدی، به قلب رؤوفش که دریای داغ است، به چشمان از غصه گریان مهدی، به لبهای گرم علی یا علیش، به ذکر حسین و حسن جان مهدی، به دست کریم و نگاه رحیمش، به چشم امید فقیران مهدی، به حال نیاز و قنوت نمازش، به سبحان 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 مهدی، به برق نگاه و به خال سیاهش، به عطر ملیح گریبان مهدی، به حج جمیلش، به جاه جلیلش، به صوت حجازی قرآن مهدی، به صبح عراق و شبانگاه شامش، به آهنگ سمت خراسان مهدی، به جان داده های مسیر عبورش، به شهد شهود شهیدان مهدی. مرا دائم الاشتیاقش بگردان، مرا سینه چاک فراقش بگردان. تفضل بفرما بر این بنده بی سر و پا، مرا همدم و محرم و همرکاب سفرهای سوی خراسان و شام و عراقش بگردان. یا مهدی، یا مهدی، مددی.
یا مهدی، یا مهدی، یا مهدی، یا مهدی.
Where is the light that guides our way, brightens our day, shows us the way? Where is the air of Mustafa, of Zahra, of Karbala? We are praying for your protection from harm. We are waiting for your final Imam. We are waiting for you, Imam Zaman. We are waiting for you, Imam Zaman. Ya Mahdi, like the sun that hides behind the clouds, your love enshrouds, your love surrounds. When you will arise, the world will be a place of safety, finally free. We are all awaiting your return, Mahdi. All the evils you will overturn, Mahdi. Happiness everywhere we turn, oh Mahdi. Happiness everywhere we turn, oh Mahdi. Ya Mahdi. When I think of you, to be apart, it breaks my heart. When will I see the face of the one teach falsehood. Separation from you is impossible. Attraction to your path inevitable. In my heart your name is written legible. In my heart your name is written legible. Ya Mahdi. Every day I pray to see your face, follow your ways. I wish that I am amongst the ones who support you and follow you, follow the truth. Oh Imam, our voices call out eagerly. Oh Imam, our voices call out desperately. For your reappearance we all pray daily. For your reappearance we all pray daily. Ya Mahdi.
مدد کیجیے یا امام زمانہ، امام زمانہ، مدد کیجیے یا امام زمانہ، امام زمانہ۔
اسیران کلفت دو عالم کے حاکم ہو فریاد سن لو، مسلسل ستم اٹھا رہا ہے زمانہ،
امام زمانہ، مدد کیجیے یا امام زمانہ، امام زمانہ، مدد کیجیے یا امام زمانہ، امام زمانہ۔
ہوا یہ جہاں آفتوں کا بسیرا، کدھر جائیے چار سو ہے اندھیرا، ہے تقدیر میں کب تلک غم اٹھانا،
امام زمانہ، مدد کیجیے یا امام زمانہ، امام زمانہ، مدد کیجیے یا امام زمانہ، امام زمانہ۔
ہر ایک بز میں آلہ کہ ہے آپ اولا، ہر ایک بات سے آپ واقف ہے مولا، بھلا راز دل آپ کو کیا بتانا،
امام زمانہ، مدد کیجیے یا امام زمانہ، امام زمانہ، مدد کیجیے یا امام زمانہ، امام زمانہ۔
ہر ایک گام طوفان رنج و بلا ہے، تمہیں دختر شاہ کا واسطہ ہے، محبوں کو صدمات سے اب بچانا،
امام زمانہ، مدد کیجیے یا امام زمانہ، امام زمانہ،
Ya Mehdi, Ya Mehdi,
Where is the light that guides our way, brightens our day, shows us the way? Where is the air of Mustafa, of Zahra, of Karbala? We are praying for your protection from harm. We are waiting for your final Imam. We are waiting for you, Imam Zaman. We are waiting for you, Imam Zaman. Ya Mahdi, like the sun that hides behind the clouds, your love enshrouds, your love surrounds. When you will arise, the world will be a place of safety, finally free. We are all awaiting your return, Mahdi. All the evils you will overturn, Mahdi. Happiness everywhere we turn, oh Mahdi. Happiness everywhere we turn, oh Mahdi. Ya Mahdi.
السلام عليكم.
به طه، به یاسین، به معراج احمد، به قدر و به کوثر، به رضوان و طوبی، به وحی الهی، به قرآن جاری، به تورات موسی و انجیل عیسی. بسی پادشاهی کنم در گدایی، چو باشم گدای گدایان زهرا. چه شبها که زهرا دعا کرده تا ما همه شیعه گردیم و بیتاب مولا. غلامی این خانواده دلیل و مراد خدا بوده از خلقت ما. مسیرت مشخص، امیرت مشخص، مکن دل دل ای دل، بزن دل به دریا. که دنیا که دنیا که دنیا به خسران عقبا نیرزد، به دوریز اولاد زهرا نیرزد. و این زندگانی فانی، جوانی، خوشیهای امروز و اینجا، به افسوس بسیار فردا نیرزد. اگر عاشقانه هوادار یاری، اگر مخلصانه گرفتار یاری، اگر آبرو می‌گذاری به پایش، یقیناً یقیناً خریدار یاری. بگو چند جمعه گذشتی ز خوابت، چه اندازه در ندبه ها زاری یاری. به شانه کشیدی غم سینه اش را، و یا چون بقیه تو سربار یاری. اگر یک نفر را به او وصل کردی، برای سپاهش تو سردار یاری. به گریه شبی را سحر کردی یا نه، چه مقدار بیتاب و بیمار یاری. دل آشفته بودن دلیل کمی نیست، اگر بیقراری بدان یار یاری. و پایان این بیقراری بهشت است. بهشتی که سرخوش ز دیدار یاری. نسیم کرامت وزیدن گرفته و باران رحمت چکیدن گرفته. مبادا بدوزی نگاه دلت را به مردم که بازار یوسف فروشی در این دوره بد شدیدن گرفته. خدایا به روی درخشان مهدی، به زلف سیاه و پریشان مهدی، به قلب رعوفش که دریای داغ است، به چشمان از غصه گریان مهدی، به لبهای گرم علی یا علیش، به ذکر حسین و حسن جان مهدی، به دست کریم و نگاه رحیمش، به چشم امید فقیران مهدی، به حال نیاز و قنوت نمازش، به سبحان 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 مهدی، به برق نگاه و به خال سیاهش، به عطر ملیح گریبان مهدی، به حج جمیلش، به جاه جلیلش، به صوت حجازی قرآن مهدی، به صبح عراق و شبانگاه شامش، به آهنگ سمت خراسان مهدی، به جان داده های مسیر عبورش، به شهد شهود شهیدان مهدی، مرا دائم الاشتیاقش بگردان، مرا سینه چاک فراقش بگردان، تفضل بفرما بر این بنده بی سر و پا، مرا همدم و محرم و همرکاب سفرهای سوی خراسان و شام و عراقش بگردان. یا مهدی، یا مهدی، مددی.
يا مهدي يا مهدي يا مهدي يا مهدي
Where is the light that guides our way, brightens our day, shows
على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our very first family-friendly virtual program run by the Academy of Learning Islam. Thank you so much for joining us today for this awesome, exciting journey that we're going to be going on, celebrating the birth of our 12th Imam. Without further ado, let's get started. Yeah, we're going to start off with the recitation of Quran by the renowned Qari, Brother Farid Al-Najafi. I'm really excited. He's a really good reciter. Inshallah, we're in for a treat. Bismillah, Brother Farid, let's take it away.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله يحب الذين يقاتلون في سبيله صفا كأنهم بنيان مرصوص وإذ قال موسى لقومه يا قوم لم تؤذونني وقد تعلمون أني رسول الله إليكم فلما زاغوا أزاغ الله قلوبهم فلما زاغوا أزاغ الله قلوبهم والله لا يهدي القوم الفاسقين. وإذ قال عيسى ابن مريم يا بني إسرائيل إني رسول الله إليكم إني رسول الله إليكم مصدقا لما بين يدي مصدقا لما بين يدي من التوراة ومبشرا برسول يأتي من بعد اسمه أحمد فلما جاءهم بالبينات قالوا هذا سحر مبين الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على رسول الله وآله الأطهار على رسول الله وآله الأطهار.
Wow, mashallah, Brother Fareed, that was so wonderfully done. Thank you so much. Next up, inshallah, we're going to hear a poetry recitation by some talented young reciters. Oh, that's awesome. I love poetry. You know, I'm something of a poet myself. Oh, really? Show me what you've got. Oh yeah. Okay. Roses are red, violets are purple. Ha! You're stuck now. I'm really good at rhyming, just like I'm really good at Wordle. Hey. Actually, have you heard of Qur'ano? The Quran version of Wordle? There's a Quran version of Wordle? Yeah, pretty cool. You should check it out. But anyway, leave that for another time. Right now, we're going to hear, inshallah, a nasheed by some talented young reciters, the Lightingales. Let's hand it over to them to hear some poetry in honor of our 12th Imam. Let's welcome them with a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ahsant, mashallah. That was awesome. I totally agree with that. That was really beautiful. I feel like I'm at a loss of words. On the contrary, I feel positively inspired. I feel like I could let loose some rhymes right now. Oh yeah? Let's hear them. Imam Mahdi, son of Askari, you're the last deputy. Having you as our guide is our greatest pride. We want to be at your side and stand with you. No? MashaAllah. Let's do a little one salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
You know, the great thing about poetry, about the Ahl Bayt especially, is that it really helps build that, more personal connection with them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Exactly. It's like, it's one thing to hear about their stories and like learn the lessons that they teach, and that's really important. But poetry is special, in its own way. It makes you feel closer, like there's some real feeling there. So now we're going to hear from our viewers in response to the question, if you were to meet Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, what would you ask him?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hamdi Abbas. If I saw Imam Zamana, I would ask him, when are you going to return? We're waiting for you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Haider Abbas, and if I saw Imam Zamana, I would ask him what I can do to help him out and spread the message of Islam whilst he's in Ghaiba. I would also ask him what I can do to prepare for when he comes, so then I can be in his army.
The one question I will ask Imam Mahdi Ajalallahu Ta'ala Farjahu Sharif is, when will all the sufferings of Yemeni and Muslim nations end? If I could ask Imam Mahdi alayhi salam one question, what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Very, very insightful questions indeed.
If you had a chance to meet the Imam, what would you ask him?
That's a great question. Personally, I think I would ask him, like, all the things that we're doing right now, am I doing in my private time, am I making the Imam happy?
That's a good question. It's good that we have access to scholars and sources of knowledge to learn more about the Imam and the things that would make him happy, the things that we can do while he's in Ghaiba. And that's why we're really blessed to have the opportunity to hear some words by scholar Sheikh Salim Yusuf Ali, who's going to say a few words right now. I know a lot of you are familiar with him already. He's lived in Toronto for a few years before he moved to California. And he's done several programs with the Academy of Learning Islam already. So inshallah, we're gonna pass it over to him to say a few words. Please welcome him with a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين. Congratulations to all of you on the anniversary of the birthday of our Imam, our leader, Imam al-Hujjah, Ajalallahu Farjahu Sharif. And thank you so much for organizing this program. Alhamdulillah, it's such an honor to be part of it. May Allah reward all of the organizers, all of the presenters, and all the participants. May Allah bless your families. I wanted to, rather than just say words, I wanted to have those words accompany a slideshow presentation. So inshallah, I'm going to fire that up and then we are going to begin. So let me just open that up here. Okay, so the title of my short talk this morning or afternoon, wherever you may be, is the Mahdawi identity. What does it mean to be associated with Imam Mahdi, Ajalallahu Farjahu Sharif? And how is that part of who we are? So I want to begin with this caption here. And in a way, like when we come every year to this time of the birthday of the Imam alayhi salam, I think many of us are confused. Should we be happy and celebrating, or should we be crying and mourning? Or should it be a combination of both? And even, for example, like on the 15th of Sha'ban, I'm sure many of you, when you went to your centers, like you probably had the nasheeds and you did the different poetry and whatnot, wore nice clothes and celebrated. But at the same time, when you're doing the a'mal, you're also shedding tears because of the separation that we have between us and the Imam of our time. And so when it comes to this occasion, or in general, how should we be in this time of the ghaiba of our Imam? On one hand, in our du'as, we're told, that one of the du'as that we're to recite if we're really stuck and we're really in a difficult situation is the du'a, Ilahi adhum al-bala. What does that mean? Oh my God, the bala, meaning the trial, the test is very great. And what is the greatest of trials? We might have our personal trials, like I might have an assignment due tomorrow, or I might have to, I don't know, go for a job interview next week. But the biggest of trials is something that goes way beyond what's happening in my life and in my circle of events, but rather it has to do with the separation that we have from the Imam being in a state where we cannot access him. So of course, that's something to be sad about. But at the same time, if we look at the hadiths of our Imams, when they would speak about this time, they would speak about it with a special type of respect. And in some ways, we see that with the severe trial comes the incredible opportunity to be among the best of people. There's one hadith which is reported from our fourth Imam alayhi salam, where he describes the people at the end of times, meaning these times, the time of the ghaiba of the Imam. And he says that the people who will be at that time, those who firmly accept the imama, those who are truly his followers, they are the best of people of all times. And for them, Allah gives them that type of understanding and that type of intellect, that type of comprehension, that it's as if the ghaiba becomes like they could see the Imam, meaning it's as if the ghaiba wasn't even there. And that's pretty incredible. And that's why when we have this type of occasion, we're sad, yes, but we're also celebrating the opportunity that has been given to us to be, inshallah, if we are able to be counted amongst the best of people of all times. But what's the key there? It's when Allah gives somebody that understanding. And that's what we're trying to seek. Inshallah, in the next few minutes, I want to see if we can maybe try to understand a little bit more, or remind ourselves about what does it mean to really be somebody who has the Imam as their leader and to be a follower of that Imam. So I want to begin with this thing right here. In many schools, you see that this is a very common exercise that children are told to do from a very young age. Across many different grades, it's the all about me poster or handout. Typically, you put your name in it, you put how many years old you are, your likes, your dislikes, your favorite color, whatever it is that really is about you. And sometimes it's in the form of a poster, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing haram about it or anything. But definitely, it's worth thinking about that. How do we identify ourselves? Like if I wanted to tell somebody who I am, would this be the way that I do that? Maybe if I get a little bit older and more sophisticated, I'd use, like, I don't know, Instagram or something like that to say who I am and what I'm all about. But at the end of the day, what is the center of my attention? Is it me? Is that what we've been taught? To think about things in that way, that everything centers around ourselves and what's important for us? There's some questions that come up with that. That is this really what's the most important thing? Is myself, my passion, what I want, my likes, my dislikes. One big question that comes up is, what about them? Meaning that if I grow up with the world centering around myself, right, what about everyone else in the world? Don't I have a responsibility towards them? And beyond that, what about Allah? Right? Allah is the one who, inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And what about those that He has chosen as to be my guides? Who gave me the right to put myself at the center of everything? I want to give a story here. This is a story which is very beautiful from the times of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. You might have heard of it before, and it can be used to draw many lessons from, but I want to talk about it in the context of what does it mean to be a follower of the Imam. Nabi Isa alayhi salam had a follower by the name of Qasir, and Qasir was a good Shia of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. Nabi Isa had a habit of traveling a lot through the land. He would go and he would guide people, and then he would go to other people, he would guide them, he would reflect upon the signs of God. He lived a very simple life. In one of his journeys, Qasir, his follower, was his companion. And they come to a body of water. There's no bridge. They have to get past the body of water. Nabi Isa alayhi salam says, Bismillah. And because of that yaqeen and that certainty and that faith he has in Allah, Allah gives him the permission and he starts to walk on the water. His follower Qasir sees what Nabi Isa alayhi salam does. And he says, okay, well, he's my guide. Let me do the same thing. Bismillah. And then he also begins to walk on the water. And this is the way they proceed. But after some time, Qasir has a thought come to his mind. Shaitan is good at doing this. He says that, well, there is Ruhullah, the Spirit of God, Isa, the chosen one, and he's walking on water, and here I am, I'm walking on water. And he starts to think of himself as being independent of his leader, independent of his master. And at that moment, he slips into the water. Now he's drowning. He calls out to Nabi Isa alayhi salam. Nabi Isa comes and grabs his arm. Qasir, what did you do? He tells him, well, this is the thought that came to mind. He tells him, Qasir, repent to Allah and have taqwa. This is not what's expected from you. We have higher expectations from you. You're meant to be the follower. If you want to take my path, you have to follow me. The minute you take that path of independence, when it's all about me, my choices, my preferences, my identity, that's the beginning of the separation from the Imam or from the leader at that time. I think that's a huge lesson for us when it comes to trying to understand one of the areas where we can improve how to be a follower of our Imam. So rather than saying, what are my likes and my dislikes? Although, of course, there's room and place for that as well, but to a certain extent, that's not what's most important. What's most important is, who is my leader? What does he want from me? How can I follow him? How can I be connected to him? What is that one question that from the time of our Prophet, all the Imams, they would emphasize that this one question, you really have to have a good answer to it. Not just that you've memorized something and you just say it. No, you really have to have it be part of your life. What was that one question? Man mata walam ya'arif imama zamanihi mata mitatan jahiliya. You've all heard of this hadith before. Whoever leaves this world and they haven't recognized their leader, the leader of their time, the living leader, then they die the death of an ignorant person. We're not meant to live a life of it's all about me, my preferences, my choices. No, we're meant to lead a life where it's all about him and how I can follow him. The idea of being connected to the Imam is such a beautiful concept. There was a companion of Imam Baqir alayhi salam who came to see him all the way from one of the countries of Africa. He travels to Medina. He comes into the presence of the Imam. He greets him. He's very happy to see him. And the Imam welcomes him. He asks him a question. He tells him, he says to him, tell me, what is the situation of Rashid? This man is seemingly taken aback. He said, Rashid's good. I saw him a few days before I embarked on my journey. He's good, alhamdulillah. And the Imam alayhi salam tells him, may Allah have mercy on Rashid. And this man is taken aback. He says that, well, may Allah have mercy on him. Do you mean to say that he's marhum? He's actually left this world? And the Imam alayhi salam says that yes. And that man says that, but I just saw him before I left. Anyhow, the Imam alayhi salam, he tells him that, do you imagine that we, do not see, that we do not hear, that we don't know what's going on? The man goes away and one of the companions says, tell me about the story. Who's Rashid? Who's this person? The Imam alayhi salam tells him that Rashid is one of our followers. And he is in that country over there. Maybe Rashid has never seen the Imam before. Maybe the Imam has never seen Rashid. But they're connected. And the Imam is aware of what's going on in Rashid's life. More aware than even his friend who had just left him. And the Imam alayhi salam tells him that, what do you think about us? We're your leaders. I'm paraphrasing here. We're your leaders. We are those eyes that see. We are the ears that hear. We're doing our job. We're aware of your situation. That's the same thing that's echoed in different letters that our great scholars have received from the Imam of our time, even during the time of Ghaiba. The Imam tells them that don't think that we're not aware of your situation. We're connected to you. We're aware of you. The type of world we're in is one where people crave attention. They want to have people be connected to them. And they think that what gives them happiness is when there's these fans who applaud for them and they cheer for them every time they do things. And so you see that sometimes people get obsessed with things like Instagram or other forms of social media. Why? One of the things is that they're seeking something. Now, seeking attention is not something which is bad. It's part of the way that we're created. But the question is that, where does that attention come from? Nabi Musa alayhi salam, when he's stuck, on one side there's the water, on the other side there's the army of the Pharaoh. Where does he get his attention from at that point? He tells the other people who are flustered, they're worried. He says that, Inna ma'iya Rabbi sayahdeen, I have my Lord with me and he is going to guide me. That's one source of attention, which is very important for us to know, that our Lord, our sustainer, our nurturer is always with us. But it's also very comforting and important and necessary for us to understand that his love and his comfort and his nurturing is done by the way of a living human being. So you can take these thousands of fans who actually have no effect on our lives. They can't help us when things go wrong. They don't know what's going on in the inside of our lives. You can take them and set them aside and instead focus on the one who really has you and your interests and your best interests at their heart. The one who really can help. The one who really has awareness of what's going on in our lives. And that's your Imam, that's our Imam. So rather than thinking about what's the center of our attention as being, it's all about me, this occasion of the 15th of Sha'ban, it gives us a chance to step back and say that, let's set that aside. Instead, let's always think about it this way, that it's all about him. I've been put in this world for a purpose, and that purpose somehow has to be tied to his purpose. Yes, the sun is behind the clouds, but there's enough light there for me to be able to see what that path is that I need to take in order to be of assistance to him, how I can be of help to him. It's no secret what the Imam alayhi salam wants from us. One of the companions went to the 8th Imam, Imam Rada alayhi salam, and he tells him that, please pray for us. The Imam alayhi salam tells him and asks him, he says that, what, do you imagine that we're not praying for you? Am I not making dua for you? Of course I'm making dua for you. And that man is like taken aback. He says that, this is the Imam. Why wouldn't he pray for his followers? But then the Imam alayhi salam tells him, he says that what you need to do, if you want to know how valuable you are to us, look and see how valuable we are to you. Look at the position that we have to you. That's not something which is a light thing to take. Of course, part of it is, acknowledging that we're his followers, saying salam to our Imam, making dua for him, giving charity for him, praying for him. But there's more than that. What decisions do we make in our family life? What kind of family environment do we have? Do we have a family of calmness? Do we have a home of tranquility? Do we have a home where we strive really hard to keep out the haram and those polluting influences? What decisions do I make in my life? Is it all about me and my tastes and my likes and my wants? Or do I ask him and say that, how can I be your follower? What do followers do? They say that, I want to be like you. You tell me how I should be. Tell me how I should act. You tell me how I should dress. You tell me what I should strive for. You tell me how to earn money. You tell me how to recreate. All these things, we get it from him. And finally, being a follower of the Imam means that it's not all about me. It's also about them. One of the beautiful philosophies of being a muntadhir, one who awaits, is that we're not so selfish. We don't just care about ourselves. We care about what's happening around us as well, because it's not just about me. When you see this picture right here, you're like, that's just a dump. It's not a dump. Those were homes that were destroyed by bombs made in Western countries and sold to Saudi Arabia. This is Yemen, where you have tens of thousands of homes that have been destroyed over 6 years. More than 10,000 children, casualties of war because of this type of war play that these military companies and these governments want to play with the very poor and oppressed people of Yemen. What you have here is a so-called human being for whom it's very easy to order the execution of 81 people, 41 of them who are followers of the Ahlul Bayt, some of them, a good number of them being minors, they're children. One of them, this just happened a few days ago. One of them, they asked him, they said that, what would happen if it comes to your being executed? What does he say? He says that the last thing I would say is Labbaika ya Hussein. The ones who care about this are the ones who aren't so self-centered. It's the ones who know that there's something beyond themselves in this world. They have a leader, they are followers, and that's where they get their identity. May Allah Ta'ala help us to understand who we truly are, and may Allah Ta'ala help us to connect with our Imam, and may Allah make it so that when we meet our Imam, he looks upon us with a gaze of approval, not one of disapproval. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi at-tahirin.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Thank you so much, Sheikh Salim, for that very insightful speech. I really appreciate it. There's a lot of lessons to be learned from there, and a lot of things that we can use to reflect on and try and better ourselves with. I especially really like a lot of the stories that you mentioned with Rashid and Prophet Musa, and like all the other stories that you had, like
Qasir, Prophet Isa, mashallah. Yeah. A lot of messages to take away, and in particular that it's not all about me. And we should be trying to connect with our leader, the Imam who is present, just out of our sight. And this is where you come in. We're going to turn the program to an interactive portion now. So you'll see on your screen the instructions on how we're going to get you to participate. Basically, go to the website www.slido.com and enter the keyword ALI to join. And we want to hear from you. So take out your phones or switch to another tab on your computer. Slido.com. That's SLIDO.com. The keyword is ALI. Oh, there you can see it on your screen. Slido.com, #ALI. And inshallah, once you join, we can start asking you some questions and hear from you. You're participating too, right?
What? No.
Yeah, let's join in as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Slido.com, hashtag ALI. When you get to the website, it'll ask for the hashtag. I'm excited. I want to hear what our friends at home have to say. Once again, that's slido.com, hashtag ALI. We'll give it a few more minutes while people pull out their phones and log in. Yeah, so today's poll will consist of 3 questions, and all of them relate to how you and I can connect with the Imam of our time. Oh, we also have an option here to enter in your own questions or ideas, but the place that we're going to be showing our questions will be in polls. So switch over to the polls tab once you log in. It's the 3rd one on the right, polls, and the active poll will be set up any minute now. Here it is, question number 1. On a scale from 1 to 5, how ready do you feel for the 12th Imam's return? Give your rating, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 stars, and how ready you feel for the 12th Imam's return. All of these votes are anonymous. Let's see how the numbers are going up. It's pretty cool how the technology shows in real time on the screen the aggregation of all of the votes. So we can see, looks like the 3 stars is winning for now. Got quite a number of 5 stars too. I gave mine. Did you give yours?
Yeah, I've done. It takes me a while to think about this.
Okay, it looks like we got a lot of participants. There's 34 still going up. Give it a few more seconds for people in case anybody's still going to join. All right, so let's take a look. It looks like 3 stars is the lead by far. So most people seem to be, on average, not completely unprepared, but there's still a way to go to feel fully prepared. But we do have some people at the far end in 5 stars, completely ready for the Imam, mashallah. We ask Allah that we can all be like that. If you're one of the people who put 5 stars, then make sure you help everyone else out so we can all be on the same page of how ready we are for the Imam to come. And inshallah, we can all work together to make his reappearance come really soon.
For those of you on the lower end of the spectrum too, don't worry. Something that really encouraging about programs like these that we start, like even coming here is a sign that you really do want to try and work towards getting feeling more ready. So that's really awesome.
Yeah. Inshallah, we all get the chance to be super ready for the Imam of our time. How do we do that? Well, inshallah, we're going to find out more with the next question. So let's move on to the next question. And this is going to be a word cloud question. So the question you have is, what are you doing to prepare for the Imam of the time? Enter in your answer on the Slido in the blank where it asks you to enter a word. And you can enter more than one word. And then the results that you enter in will appear on the screen. And then we'll see what types of things people are doing. And maybe we can get inspiration from the ideas that people put over here on things that we can do. Looks like we're getting a lot of good responses. Yeah, so the words that are showing up bigger are the ones that more people have entered in. So it looks like praying is by and large taking the lead. A lot of people are praying, and that's good. We should all be praying for the Imam's return. You know, I saw a hadith to the effect of pray a lot for the appearance of the Imam, because in that is the way that we will be saved.
Oh, very interesting.
So just maybe we don't appreciate the value and impact of just praying for the Imam, but there's a lot of emphasis on that. I feel like there's something deeper when it comes to asking Allah for the protection and for the appearance or hastened reappearance of the Imam of our time. So I'm glad that a lot of us are praying, but look at all the other things that are there. You got volunteering, we got tazkiyah, praying fajr. Well, that's important. Being kind to my parents, finding the truth in everything. Wow, that's a lot of ideas. It's hard to like.
I don't know if we'll be able to finish read them all right now, but
yeah, but mashallah, this is amazing. Keep it up, guys. Keep sending them in. Okay. Now we're going to go to the third question now. It's a word cloud. What does the 12th Imam inspire you to do? Okay. So again, you can enter in multiple responses. You don't have to stick to just one. What does he inspire you to do?
Hey, you're cheating. You're looking at my answers.
Not a test. I forget to see everybody's answers.
True.
Looks like a lot of people are inspired to learn, which is really good. Helping the poor, being kind, all very important. Attending programs like these, yeah, very good. What else have we got? Standing up for the truth, following Allah, be a good Muslim, sincerity, being kind to others, pray namaz, help your parents. MashaAllah, these are really good ideas. It's amazing how we have these role models that Allah has placed in our lives to inspire us to do all of these good actions and good deeds. It's like Allah has shown us the way by giving us these role models, these imams and the awliya that we have the examples of. And through them, we can be inspired to improve ourselves and do a lot of these good things that get us closer to Allah. All right, mashallah, thank you guys so much for participating. It's great to see the input from you. We're now going to move on to the next segment of the program.
So we actually had some of our friends send us a video clip in to saying, highlighting how they're getting prepared for the 12th Imam to come.
So let's hear from the friends who sent these amazing answers in. Let's turn it over.
The one action that I would do, which is important to the Imam's reappearance, is to do good deeds. Some simple examples of doing good deeds are holding the door for somebody, or just simply smiling at someone, which can brighten up their day. Another example is taking out sadaqah to help the poor and standing up against injustice, which is one of the hardest things to do. For example, at school, if you see somebody who is being bullied, try to stand up for them.
What I can do to help Imam come out of ghaiba sooner is that I can use my voice and speak up against war, oppression, and racism. Allahumma ajila waliyaka farj.
So one action that we can do to hasten the reappearance of Imam Mahdi Ajallahu Ta'ala Farajuhu Sharif is that when we are placed in a situation that is considered a gray area, we should think, what would Imam Mahdi do in this situation? Or we can also think, what do you think he would want me to do? What would you think he would think of options A, B, or C? What do you think Allah and Imam Mahdi want me to do? Would they be happy with what I'm about to do? Or would they be sad about what I'm about to do? In my opinion, if we continue doing this in every situation that's a gray area, I believe that Imam Mahdi's reappearance will be brought sooner to us rather than later.
MashaAllah, it's so inspiring to see the youth of the community working hard and trying to fight for justice and working to try and get the imam to return.
Yeah, mashallah. It's again, it's always inspiring to see all these ideas and these actions that people are suggesting. So thank you for contributing those, and mashallah.
Coming up next, we're going to have a recitation of some more poetry from some qasidas by the servants of Zahra. Inshallah, we're going to welcome them with one loud salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Kushali Mubarak. We just wanted to thank the Academy for Learning Islam for this opportunity. Unfortunately, Abbas cannot join me today, so I will be reciting for the both of us. If we can start with another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. O light of Allah, you are a true guide. We're waiting for you to be by your side. Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Ya Mawla, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal. The darkness of lies and deceit has penetrated through my heart. Satanic forces of the world have swayed me from the right path. I feel that I've forgotten what the Prophet has taught us. My heart is full of worldly pursuits and desires. O light of Allah, you are a true guide. We're waiting for you to be by your side. Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Ya Mawla, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal. The tyrants of the world with their mischief and corruption that exploited our women and our innocent children. They're spreading injustice nation after nation for their own selfish needs, their own selfish reasons. But I know, oh Imam, that when you reappear, there will always be peace and there will be no fear. But I can't bear to hear the heartbeat of time. But I can't bear to hear the heartbeat of time. Oh, the Savior of mankind, please show us a sign. Oh, light of Allah, you are a true guide. We're waiting for you to be by your side. Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Ya Mawla, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal. I'm worried when the time comes I might turn away. So hold me by your hand and please show me the way to be one of the pure and chosen companions, so that I can swear the oath of allegiance. I'll give everything that I love in God's name to revenge the blood of your grandfather Hussein. Every step of the way, my dream will come true. On my last breath, oh Master, I'll call out to you. O light of Allah, you are a true guide. We're waiting for you to be by your side. Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Ya Mawla, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Allah Jal, Ya Mawla. Muhammad wa Muhammad salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Do that in Urdu, just in other praises of Imam Zamana. For those of you watching at home, if you can also join me in reciting. Madad kijiye ya Imam Zamana. Madad kijiye ya Imam Zamana. हटा दीजिए ग़ैबत का पर्दा खुदारा, पर्दा खुदारा, मदद कीजिए या इमाम ज़माना भरे आफते हैं ज़माने पे मौला परेशान शिया कहाँ जाए मौला पुकारा तुम्हें जब हुआ दिल जो मुझतर मदद कीजिए या इमाम ज़माना मदद कीजिए या इमाम ज़माना मदद कीजिए या इमाम ज़माना पर मोहम्मद व आल मोहम्मद सलवात
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ajil farajahum.
Thank you once again, everyone, for the opportunity. Inshallah Mubarak.
Thank you, Kumail, so much for that. That was really awesome. I was literally just telling my brother, like, this like a day or two ago, like, this is like some of my favorite ones that you just happen to do them. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, that was great timing.
Yes, thank you so much, guys.
Well, if you like that, inshallah, you're going to enjoy the next segment of the program too. We're going to be having another story. I know you like the ones from Sheikh Salim, so inshallah, we're going to be hearing some storytelling by Sister Alia Fazal.
I'm looking forward to it.
Bismillah.
Sorry, I'm not sure why my video is upside down.
Okay, it looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. Let's try to grant her some tawfiq to get on the camera with a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
It worked.
Okay, let's hear the story now.
Sorry about that, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. So I'm going to tell you a story about the birth of our Imam Mahdi. And it was such a wonderful story. So here we go. It was a beautiful, sunny, clear day. And the sun was so bright, and the birds were chirping outside, and the house was full of the smell of fresh baked bread. Now, Lady Hakima, who was the aunt of our Imam Askari, our 11th Imam, was invited over to her nephew's house for just to come over for that day. So she decided that she was going to take some food to his house as a nice gift. When you go to somebody's house, you like to take food. So Lady Hakima was really special. She was such a wonderful woman. She was so, she loved to talk to Allah, and she loved to spend her time in prayer. And one of her favorite things to do was to go to visit her nephew. So she got her basket, and she was packing some fruits, oranges especially. They loved oranges. Now, as she packed her fruit in her picnic basket, she thought about the fact that Lady Nargis, Imam Hassan al-Askari's wife, seemed very tired. She wasn't sure what was going on. She was just wondering. She seemed a little tired. Maybe she was just working too hard. So she finished packing her basket with the fresh bread and her fruits. She decided she was going to leave. She got her stuff all together and she left her house, closed the door, and as she walked on the streets, she heard children playing. She stopped to speak to some women who were on the street. She could hear the merchants selling their foods. Now, in the city of Samarra, Lady Hakima was very, very well versed with all the streets, as she was there for a while. So she knew where to go as she walked through the streets, and she got to see all the people and hear the birds and the sun shining. She walked and walked until she arrived at their door. She knocked on the door, and Imam Hassan al-Askari opened up the door with a bright smile. He loved to spend time with his aunt, and so he was so excited that she had come over. She opened the door and she entered the house. Now, as they sat down, Imam Hassan al-Askari asked Lady Hakima to stay the night. Now, since they were all fasting, they were going to break their fast together, and he said, maybe you can just stay over for the night. We have some very special news to share with you. So Lady Hakima got really excited. What's the special news? She looked over, and Imam Hassan al-Askari was excited to share that Allah was going to bless them with a child, the next caliph after him. So at first, Lady Hakima was super excited, ecstatic. And then she was a little confused. She looked over at Lady Narjis, and then she looked back at Imam Hassan al-Askari. But who's going to give birth to this child, she asked. And Imam Hassan al-Askari, with a smile on his face, said, Lady Narjis is going to be the special lady to give birth to our next Imam. So Lady Hakima, with so many questions, was, but there's no signs of pregnancy. Now, if you've seen a lady who is going to have a baby, she has a big belly, and there's some other things, but Lady Narjis didn't have anything. So she was very confused. And Imam Hassan al-Askari just knew by looking at her face that she was extremely confused. He looked over at her and he smiled, and he said that Allah is protecting this Imam al-Mahdi, like he is protecting the baby Prophet Musa. So Lady Hakima was very excited. So that night, they all went to sleep, and Lady Hakima woke up right after midnight to start doing some salat, some prayers, some talking to God, and everybody else was sleeping. So she got up to do prayers, and shortly after, Lady Narjis also woke up. Now, as they were praying, Lady Hakima just kept looking over at Lady Narjis, very confused, trying to get some answers for these questions that she didn't know what was going to happen, or how, or when, or why, or how, any of those. She was so confused. So then, shortly after that, Lady Narjis sat up abruptly, and she said, the time has come. So in excitement, Lady Hakima also stood up and was excited. They all began to pray and wait, and Lady Narjis gave birth to Imam al-Mahdi on the 15th of Sha'ban, very early in the morning. Lady Hakima was stunned. The room was full of pure and divine light. She saw the beautiful baby who was just born. His face shone with radiance, and she could hear the sound of the kalama shahadatain being recited. Everyone in the house was so excited. They couldn't express how excited they were. It was just such a big moment. So Lady Hakima wrapped the baby in a soft cloth and brought him, kissed his little forehead, and brought him to the Imam. The Imam took the baby, and with a tear in his eye, just because of sheer excitement and happiness, he recited the adhan in the right ear and the iqama in the left ear, so that this baby, Imam Mahdi, would hear that God is the greatest and there's no God except Allah. Lady Hakima then took the baby back and smelled the baby. She said, I've never smelled such a beautiful fragrance like this in my life. So the Imam told her to take him back to his mother. And Imam also prayed, and he made a dua, and he said, I'm entrusting you to the one whom Musa alayhi salam's mother had entrusted. Remain in the care and protection of Allah, he said, and take this baby back to his mother, and you have to keep it a secret until it is time to share the news. Now, Lady Hakima she also, as Imam took over the imamat and became our Imam of the time, Lady Hakima was a really important player in that as well, because she helped in connecting the Imam to the people who were following him, even when he was in Ghaibat. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that awesome story. This has been a really awesome afternoon with a lot of great stories.
Yeah, we're getting near to the end of the program now.
Aww.
But it's been a good program so far, alhamdulillah. We've just got one segment left.
Yeah, here in the next video clip, we're going to be hearing what some of the children of our community, like, what is something that they love about our Imam of the time.
Let's hear from them. Let's welcome them with the salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
What I love about Imam Mahdi is that he can help anybody in their situation, even if it's big or small. Also, that he has a special connection with each of us, and he's helped us in our daily lives, and we just don't recognize him. So every day when we wake up in the morning, we should always say salam and be grateful that we have Imam Mahdi in our lives.
Hadith that I've always been taught is that Imam al-Hujjah is like the sun behind the clouds. Even though the sun is behind the clouds, it still does its job. The plants are still growing, it's still warm outside, and the sun still orbits around the earth. Just like that, Imam al-Hujjah is always there for when you need him. He's our leader, he's our guide, and he's our Imam. And so one day when I was new at school, I was alone and no one was playing with me. So I put my right hand on my head and my left hand on my chest and said, Ya Basal Mahdi Adrikni. And suddenly, my younger sister Zainab, she showed up and she's like, hey Zahra, you want to play? So even when your mom and dad are not there for you, when your really hard moments are there, your Imam is always there for you, even though he's like the sun behind.
MashaAllah. To wrap up the program, we will have a recitation of the dua for the 12th Imam, given by the Nightingales once again. Let's welcome them with the salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma wali waliyaka hujjatul bin Hasan salawatuka alayhi wa ala alihi fi hadhihi as-sa'a wa fi kulli sa'a waliyan wa hafidan wa qa'idan wa nasiran wa dalilan wa aynan hatta taskinahu
MashaAllah, thank you so much for that recitation.
Yeah, definitely. Also, for all of you guys who've joined us from your houses, thank you so much for attending today's program. We really appreciate it, and hopefully, inshallah, the 12 Imam appreciated it too. To get more information from the Academy of Learning Islam, the wonderful hosts of today's program, we want to be able to, if you want to send any feedback based on how today's program was, you can reach out to them via the email that's listed on the slide as well as check out more of the information and other programs and activities that they do on their site, academyoflearningislam.com.
academyofislam.com, yeah. Of course, if you're very happy with these programs, you can contribute as well. The website is also given on the screen as well. So that's the end of the program for today. Thank you so much, everybody who's participated in any way, shape, or form. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was amazing and inspiring.
I loved all the stories and all the great recitations. Yeah. Very awesome.
I loved all of the lessons and the things to think about. MashaAllah, everybody was amazing. And thank you for joining. And that brings our program today to an end.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.